All right, if your goal is to be toned, to get that toned look, you feel like you're doing everything right and you're just not seeing results, I'm about to tell you why. All right, so this is a picture of me from, I think, 2015. We're just gonna ignore the absolutely chaotic state of my apartment at this time, yikes. But you can see here, I'm a little bit like what you might consider skinny fat. Now, it's not bad, but I do feel like I was carrying a lot more belly fat at that time. My upper body was pretty scrawny, and I didn't really have much of a butt to speak of, especially considering how hard I was working. And I say that because I was working out pretty much every day at this point. I was going to the gym at 6 a.m. during the week, doing some sort of HIIT, boot camp, whatever type of class, and if I wasn't doing that, then I was going for a run. I was also a vegetarian at this time. Not saying you can't get results as a vegetarian, I'm telling you, I wasn't doing it right. I was what I thought very health conscious at the time. My diet was very clean. I definitely focused on foods that were healthy, but I didn't really know what I was doing and I didn't really feel like it was working. Now, I'm definitely not saying like this is the worst look ever, just for how hard I was working, this was not what I was going for. Again, not bad, but the reason I couldn't get toned and build a body that I wanted, and probably the reason that you can't either, is because getting toned is a two-part equation. Because what actually gives you the toned look is muscle tissue. So the very important first part of that equation is build muscle first and then lose body fat. I was focusing way too much on just trying to lose body fat and trying to be skinny and trying to get smaller, and completely skipping over the whole first part of that equation, and everything I was doing was preventing me from building any muscle tissue. Now, about 2017, I found weightlifting and tracking macros, and then 2018, I hired my first coach. I have since been weight training, lifting heavy, eating protein, eating enough calories, and going through proper cycles with my nutrition, meaning I'm not just constantly trying to diet, right? I have seasons to my nutrition. This is a side-by-side I threw up on my socials showcasing the booty gains, which have obviously come a long way from where we started. Now, this picture is from the end of my most recent building phase, so I had spent a good amount of time in a surplus focusing on building muscle before I started my most recent cut, and I'm about 135 here, so I'm 20 to 25 pounds up from those first sets of pictures. Now, I'm not saying I look perfect or anything, but I do generally now walk around looking like I lift, which was always the goal. My focus now is 4 days a week of heavy weightlifting, progressive overload, eating at least 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein. I stopped doing all of that high intensity bullshit and focused on balancing my hormones, resting enough, recovering enough, and I spend most of my year not dieting. So if you feel like you're not getting toned and you're working your ass off like I was, you may just be working too hard at the wrong things, and we need to spend more time building the foundation and less time focusing on the fat loss.